Have you ever noticed the whispers that linger when a man walks alone? The subtle doubts, the quiet judgments, the unspoken question. What's wrong with him? Society has a habit of fearing what it doesn't understand, especially when a man chooses solitude over company. But what if that silence hides a power far beyond their grasp? Behind the rumors and sideways glances lies a truth rarely acknowledged. While many scramble to fill their lives with approval and distraction, some men are quietly forging strength in the crucible of solitude. It's not about chasing fame or fleeting romances. It's about building a fortress inside a resilience that no crowd, no relationship, no fleeting connection can shake. Think about it. Have you ever met a man who seems to see right through the noise, who doesn't react hastily, who doesn't plead for attention, who walks into a room and somehow commands a silence that says, "I'm enough"? This is not loneliness. This is transformation. From childhood, society feeds men the script: find a partner, get married, you're incomplete until you do. But what if that narrative is just a distraction, a cleverly crafted story designed to keep him from discovering his true potential? The Stoic understands this illusion and chooses a different path. Instead of running from solitude, he steps into it fully, because in silence, he hears the voice that matters most, his own. Have you ever witnessed a man who, after spending a long stretch alone, seems to carry an invisible armor around him? It's as if the silence of his solitude has forged a kind of inner steel, a resilience that can't be easily broken or swayed by the outside world. This is not the fragility often mistaken for loneliness, but a powerful transformation that cultivates true strength from within. Imagine a blacksmith hammering away at raw iron. With every strike, the metal becomes harder, stronger, more enduring. Similarly, solitude is the relentless hammer that shapes a man's character. While others rush to fill their hours with noise distractions or fleeting connections, the man alone uses this time to temper his mind, sharpen his focus, and deepen his self-awareness. In the quiet moments, free from the demands and distractions of constant social interaction, he begins to hear his authentic voice, not the echoes of societal expectations or the chatter of fleeting relationships, but a voice that commands authority, calm, and clarity. This voice no longer begs for attention or approval. It quietly commands respect. This inner fortress, built through the crucible of solitude, is a core concept in Stoicism, the philosophy that teaches us to find peace and power within ourselves, regardless of external chaos. The longer a man embraces solitude, the more he understands that true control comes not from others, but from mastering his own thoughts and emotions. Isn't it fascinating that what many perceive as weakness, being alone, can in fact be the source of an unparalleled strength? The strength to stand firm, to move through life, unshaken by approval or rejection. To carry a calm presence that speaks louder than words. Have you ever wondered what happens when a man stops chasing the noise and distractions of the world? When he stops performing for others, trying to impress or explain himself, what does he do with the silence? This is where true transformation begins. Time once wasted on fleeting emotions or approval becomes a sharp tool, a weapon to craft excellence. Picture a sculptor with a block of marble. Without rush or distraction, each careful strike reveals more of the masterpiece within. Similarly, a man who embraces solitude channels his energy into deliberate growth. The endless drama of relationships and social expectations fades away, replaced by focused hours of learning, training, and refining his craft. In this sacred silence, he becomes obsessed, not with fleeting pleasures, but with mastery, reading books that expand his mind, training his body to peak condition, and cultivating skills that build unshakable confidence. The hunger for shallow connection turns into a disciplined pursuit of self-control and purpose. How often do we let time slip through our fingers, distracted by fleeting desires or external validations? But the solitary man turns time into an ally, a force that molds his character with patience and persistence. Each day of solitude is not loneliness. It's a chapter in his personal evolution. Have you ever seen a man who, despite the pain of love lost, remains unshaken, as if his heart carries a shield forged in solitude? This emotional immunity is not born from coldness or indifference, but from having faced emptiness head-on and made peace with it. The wounds that once threatened to break him have instead become the foundation of his resilience. Picture a mighty oak tree battered by storms. While weaker branches may snap and fall, the trunk stands firm, rooted deep within the earth. Similarly, a man who walks the path of isolation learns not to crumble when relationships falter. He has tasted the bitter sting of abandonment before and emerged with a calm acceptance. This immunity to manipulation, to emotional games, and to the bait of fleeting affection terrifies those still hungry for approval, because he no longer thirsts for validation. He is whole on his own terms. His completeness is self-crafted, not dependent on another's love or presence. Isn't it a profound kind of freedom to no longer be a prisoner of your own heart's fluctuations? To meet love and loss with the steady gaze of one who knows his worth is not defined by either. This is the Stoic man's gift, the power to endure without surrendering to despair. Have you noticed how some men emerge from their solitude not as broken souls, but as kings in their own right? This isn't a fairy tale, it's a psychological rebirth. The man who once sought approval now walks with quiet confidence, no longer begging for acceptance, but commanding it through the power of self-possession. Imagine a phoenix rising from the ashes, shedding old fears, doubts, and neediness. Each no he utters is not born of bitterness, but of clarity, a clear boundary drawn around his worth. He no longer chases the elusive approval of others, especially feminine validation. Instead, he stands tall, anchored in the knowledge that his value is self-made. This transformation signals a profound shift from dependence to independence, from seeking to choosing. The boy who once felt incomplete now recognizes that completeness comes from within, and every day he consciously chooses himself first. Isn't it empowering to know that you hold the pen that writes your story, that you don't wait for permission or love to validate your existence? This self-authorship is the essence of Stoic maturity, a man who is the master of his own destiny, crafting a life defined not by others' judgments, but by his own unwavering standards. What happens when a man no longer seeks validation from others? When the desperate need to be accepted dissolves, something remarkable takes its place: true freedom. Imagine shedding the weight of constant approval, like dropping a heavy cloak that once dragged him down. In that lightness, he stands tall and unyielding, no longer bending to fit someone else's mold. This power, born from letting go of external dependence, radiates naturally. People sense it without words. Suddenly, the questions come. Why is he so composed? Why doesn't he chase? Why doesn't he plead? It's because he has quenched the thirst for attention, not with desperation, but with purpose. His strength comes from within, and it demands respect without asking for it. Consider a river that flows steadily, regardless of the rocks in its path. It doesn't stop or change course to please its surroundings. It simply moves forward with quiet confidence. Similarly, the man who has replaced need with power navigates life's currents without hesitation, undeterred by rejection or fleeting praise. This is not detachment born of apathy, but liberation through self-mastery. When your sense of worth is rooted inside, no external storm can shake your foundation. That is the true essence of Stoic strength power that stands firm because it relies on nothing but itself. Have you ever noticed how some men don't need to say a word to command attention? It's not their looks or wealth that draws people in, but an undeniable aura, a presence forged through years of self-mastery and silent confidence. This kind of magnetism is subtle, yet powerful, the quiet hum of someone who is fully grounded in himself. Think of it like a lighthouse standing tall amid a stormy sea. Its beam doesn't shout or flash frantically. It's simply seen steadily, guiding those lost in the dark. Similarly, the man who has cultivated his inner world emits a calm energy that pulls others closer without effort or intention. He doesn't talk to impress or give away his energy carelessly. Instead, he listens deeply and speaks with purpose, every word landing with the weight of thunder. People wonder, why is he so composed? Why doesn't he chase or plead? Because he already embodies the qualities others seek: power, stillness, and self-respect. This natural attraction isn't about superficial charm. It's the reflection of a man who has harnessed his inner fire. It's a presence that can't be faked or forced. It is earned through discipline, solitude, and the relentless pursuit of becoming the best version of oneself. Have you ever paused to reflect on what it truly means to become someone? The journey of solitude is not about waiting for someone else to complete you. It's about forging yourself into a force that cannot be ignored. Like a blacksmith who tempers steel with relentless heat and hammer strikes, a man shapes his character through trial patience and unwavering dedication. Picture standing atop a mountain after a long climb. The air is thin, the view expansive, and the silence profound. This is the moment of transformation where the boy who once sought approval has vanished, replaced by a man who stands solid, unshaken, and free. He no longer needs to be needed. He simply is. The path of the Stoic teaches us that true power lies in self-mastery, in rising above the need for external validation. Every moment spent alone is an investment in this transformation. While others chase distractions or seek fleeting approval. He aligns himself with his higher purpose. This man doesn't attract everyone, only those who can withstand his fire. Because he is not here to be liked, he is here to lead. His strength is quiet but undeniable, his presence commanding yet composed. So remember, being single is never about waiting for the right person to arrive. It's about becoming the person worthy of that arrival. And when you reach that pinnacle, the world will not ignore you. It will feel the power of a man who has truly mastered himself. Reflecting on the journey we've explored, one can't help but admire the profound transformation that solitude can foster. It's easy to mistake being single for loneliness or lack. But as we've seen, it is often the crucible where a man forges his deepest strength. This narrative challenges common misconceptions and invites us to rethink what it truly means to be complete. Consider the metaphor of a seed buried in darkness, waiting patiently beneath the soil. Though unseen, it is quietly gathering energy, preparing to break through the surface with newfound life. Similarly, a man alone is not stagnant or broken. He is cultivating growth that many fail to perceive. This perspective invites a broader question. How often do we rush to fill the voids in our lives with distractions rather than embracing the silence that allows true self-discovery? In a world obsessed with connection and instant gratification, the Stoic's path is countercultural, a commitment to patience, discipline, and internal mastery. Yet this path is not without challenges. It demands courage to stand apart, resilience to face discomfort, and humility to accept that growth is often slow and unseen. But the reward is a life led not by external circumstances, but by unshakable inner power. As you consider this, think about your own journey. Are you running from solitude, or are you willing to embrace it as the fertile ground for your transformation? The man who masters himself becomes a beacon, not just attracting others, but illuminating a way forward for those seeking strength in a noisy world. If you found this journey through solitude and self-mastery insightful, don't forget to subscribe and join our community. Together, we explore deeper truths and build strength from within. Share your thoughts below. How has solitude shaped your own path? Stay tuned for more inspiration.